So all of this resulted, so I can't just say that all these people are evil. And I can't just say that it was bad of me to make this experience, because that would be unjust. And that would be a lie. Because it wasn't just bad. It's only bad if I don't learn from it. So it's my job to learn from my mistakes and to find truth in the things that I'm doing. But for that I need experiences. And sometimes certain experiences will make you crash as hard as you can crash. And they will make you feel like, you want to die or whatever. Now, making this experience and crashing as hard as I did, which means like falling into a depression and stuffing myself full with food until, I lay in bed and I just feel sick. Sick because I was dishonest to myself once more. Sick because I lost my way. Sick because I ate disgusting things. And I drank way too much coffee. And this is somewhat like a standard diet for most people. We don't need to eat that much. Nobody needs 2,000 calories per day. Nobody. Nobody needs coffee. Nobody needs that kind of sugar. Nobody needs to eat dates. There's people who just eat small amounts once per day. There's people that never eat. There's people that never sleep. How come we never talk about them? They tell us to drink 3 liters of water per day. That's an incredible amount of nonsense. Like, who comes up with this stuff? People who want to sell us things. People who want to sell us coffee will tell us that 5 cups of coffee per day is alright. People who want to keep us numb and stupid will tell us that chocolate is somewhat healthy, and then they sell us stuff like Kinder and call it chocolate. Or Snickers. And then people will tell us that we have to eat 3 times a day or 5 times a day. But we have to get to like 1,700 calories per day. That keeps us so busy digesting and eating and thinking about food that we don't have time to think about anything else anymore. And the rest of the time, because we're so tired from eating, what do? We watch videos on YouTube. We check our messages. What? We sit on the toilet because we have to shit so much? Because of all the shit that we eat? And then we drink coffee and, we talk to people, that are also full of lies. And you can see it, but you still, you want them to love you, so you spend time with them. And some of them are your family that come to you and they pretend like, they're the good father, the good sister, the good mother. And then they give you coffee. And then they give you, like, all this nonsense. And in the end, you are a piece of shit too. And I was heading with this in the direction that you could say I fell from grace. And I crashed really hard. And I felt like my body started to cleanse. I was getting rid of things because I saw through some lies. And I met some people that were so deep in the lie. And in a way, yes, of course, you talk to them, you shine your light for them. That's also what spirituality is about. You hold the candle for others. And sometimes you have to go to others and bring them that light. But that also means you have to go a bit into hell with them. And that takes practice. If you're not careful, you're going to lose yourself. And by now, I know somehow what to do. Because I know how it feels to be me. And a lot of people, they don't know how it feels to be them. And if you don't know how it feels to be you, so if you're disconnected from your true self, you will end up having surgery to transform you from a woman into a man, or from a man into a woman. And if you don't know what it feels like to be you, you will probably be gay, because you're trying to run away from your male side and pretend to be a woman and have anal sex with men or something. And of course, we live in a sick society with sick people and sick ideals and sick ideas and a lack of love. So we have to start by ourselves. And sometimes, I love myself a lot. I give myself all this love, but then I'm also sometimes called upon to do something. To go to certain people. It was necessary to go into that mosque and meet all these people, because I could meet 2 souls that needed my help. And all I did was, bring them together again, because I was shining a light that was somehow just leading the conversation. It doesn't really matter what happened right now. But the thing is, this is also the spiritual path. It's not just enough to be good on your own, right? Because I could do that. I could just record videos and just live my life, and I could just be concerned with myself. But that's not it. It's not just that. There are other things as well. And sometimes you have to do things for others, although it may throw you back into that pit. And then you have to reach with your arm into a pile of shit. And yes, you're gonna get dirty too. Because maybe you learned to walk on water, and maybe you were floating above sin, and maybe you were floating above all these lies. But suddenly you have to plunge back in it. And then you have to fight yourself out again. And it's important to do so. So for that you need methods. And some of these methods I have described in the book of Fear. And other methods I have talked about in other books. So every book that I wrote teaches you something about truth and about yourself. There's always one lesson, at least, in a book. And some have a lot, like the Book of Fear is full of them. So you just have to read it, and then apply it, and then learn something from it. And that's as easy as I can make it for you. Because nobody will hand you the paradise on a silver platter. Well, you could say I just did, but for that you have to want to know it. If you don't want to know it, well, happy suffering.